Hello, everyone. This is Todd Brow with Senior Insurance Marketing, and we are excited to have on our webinar today Jim Codney with Cigna and talk about the cancer, heart attack, and stroke. A perfect time to go back to those Medicare Advantage clients that you sold in AP season and sell the cancer, heart attack, and stroke policy with Cigna. So without further ado, I'm going to swing it over to Jim here. And Jim, let me make you host so you can share and so we can know more about the Cigna Cancer, Heart Attack, and Stroke product.
Thanks, Todd. Good morning, everybody. Just give me a second to get the slideshow up, and we will get going. As Todd said, my name is Jim Codney. I'm one of the regional vice presidents here at Cigna. Thank you very much for taking your time with us today. We're going to go through our best-selling ancillary product, our cancer, heart attack, and stroke product. If you have questions, please type them in the Q&A box. And if there's something that we think will help everybody, we will answer them here at the end of the webinar. If there's something we don't answer, please don't stress. Your friends at Senior Insurance Marketing will get back to you with the answer after the webinar. So with that, we'll get going. So before we talk about product, let's talk about the company. You know, I'm pretty sure everybody's heard of Cigna. You know how big we are and everything, but I don't know if everybody that sells our products actually understands what our mission is. So I really want to start with that. And it's simple. It's to improve the health, well-being, and peace of mind of those we serve by making healthcare simple, affordable, and predictable. You know, we believe that if we focus on healthcare, not sick care, we're going to help clients live a more fulfilled life, stay out of the hospital more, just be healthier. And we think that's important, and it actually helps everybody in the circle of this product. It helps our clients, obviously, if they're staying healthier longer, they're more active, they're living a more fulfilled life. It helps the carrier because we're able to then, if they aren't making as many claims, we're able to keep a more competitive product in the marketplace longer. And it helps you because if we're able to have a more competitive product in the market longer, it makes it better for you when you sell our product. So it's a really nice thing we do, but just so you know, that's our mission here at Cigna. A couple of things. I won't read through everything on this screen, but, again, for familiarity, your clients have probably heard of Cigna. We're a Fortune 13 company, so we're internationally known. We've got over 40,000 employees throughout the world in many different countries. But a couple other things I like to stress on this is we issue policies very fast, right? Average turnaround time is 3 to 5 days. I will tell you now that we're out of AEP on these products, you're probably 2 to 3 days in most cases, unless there's a request from information from our new business team. And we pay commissions daily. That was always nice when I was out in the field selling to actually get paid pretty quick. And then we do have an agent resource center line. That's a great line. So if you have a question, hey, what's going on with my app, or I need help with a claim or something like that, that's a great number to have, that 877-454-0923 number. As you see, they're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5:30 Central. So let's talk about the product here in general, and then we'll get more in depth. But it's guaranteed renewable for life. What does that mean? That means that as long as your client wants it and keeps paying the premiums, they're going to have the coverage for their whole life. They don't have to worry about, they're 84, now turning 85 or something like that, and the coverage going away. In most states, it's available for new sales from age 18 to 99. The big exception there is California. California is 18 to 64. And we'll go through the riders. Don't worry about that here in a little bit. It's available 4 different ways: as an individual policy, a couple policy, single parent or family. So you can sell it many different ways. You can even set this up on groups. So if you have a group that is interested in this type of coverage, we can work on that for you. The benefit amounts, as you see, are $5,000 to $75,000 in a $1,000 increment. So it's a really good policy. It helps a lot of people with it. Now, here's where it's available right now. Let me kind of go through the color coding here and make this simple. In the dark blue states, like Nebraska, for example, those will have every rider we're talking about today with very little exceptions. The green states are going to have just the first 6 riders. They won't have the riders we added early last year. Wyoming does not offer cancer coverage. We're not able to offer cancer coverage in Wyoming right now. We used to have it, and we're working on getting it back there. And those couple of gray states, Virginia and New York, we just don't offer the product in. So pretty straightforward, but again, we have a product availability chart on Agent View. So if you have any questions about your particular state, you can log in on Agent View. If you can't find it, just again, ask our good friends at Senior Insurance Marketing, talk to your marketer. They'll be able to help you out and find it for you. So this is that product availability chart that I just mentioned. So it shows you every rider. So it's really straightforward of what's available in the state that you're marketing to. So let's talk about the need a little bit. You know, it's one thing to know a product and how it works, but it's something even more powerful to understand the need and why we sell what we sell. So if you look right now, you know, the average man is going to have a 40% chance of being diagnosed with cancer in his lifetime. And ladies, you are not much more lucky. Your statistic is 38%. And from what I've heard, those cancer growth rates are growing. You know, and we're estimating that there was about $174 billion in cancer costs last year here in the U.S. And when we talk about heart attacks, you know, there's about 8 million people walking around right now in the U.S. that have suffered a heart attack, and stroke is the leading cause of disability, with about 92 million Americans having some form of after effects of stroke right now. So really important need that our clients have. But probably the biggest thing that scares me when I think about why do we sell a product like this is that top center thing that says in the U.S., the average person can afford $500 of unexpected costs. And I will tell you that's probably gotten even a lot tighter since the pandemic hit everyone. Let's be honest. You know, there's more people out of work than there has ever been in a long time. People are tightening their belts. Well, if people can afford $500 in unexpected costs, how in the world are they going to afford the devastation that can happen financially from a cancer diagnosis or from a heart attack or having a stroke? Not only are there the regular things that we think about, the hospital bills, et cetera, there's often loss of work, sometimes disability, et cetera, that can really devastate a family financially. And that's why we do what we do, right? We're here, you know, I believe that we're in a service industry, not a sales industry. Our job as insurance professionals is to educate our clients with their potential for risk and loss, and then what they can do to mitigate those losses. And what a great opportunity with a product like this to be able to help a customer at what could be their darkest time, right? And be able to say, yeah, you know, Todd, I'm sorry that you had that diagnosis, but I'm happy to help you out to file that claim. I'm glad we were able to do that for you. It's a sobering thought when you look at, you know, when you think about the real cost of what can happen. You know, this just sort of puts it in a nutshell, guys, with the cost, right? It shows you not only are there the medical costs, which again, most of us think about as insurance professionals, it's normal. But what about the travel, lodging, meals? The number one cancer treatment hospital in the country is MD Anderson in Houston, Texas. Well, if you have the means and it's somebody, either yourself or a loved one, you're going to go and travel to MD Anderson or maybe a Mayo Clinic or something like that. You may not choose to go to the place right down the street or in your town to, get the cancer treatment. But there's also household costs like lost income, housing. What if you have to live, if it's you or somebody you love, you might need to rent a hotel or apartment for a short time near where they're getting treatment. Utilities, groceries, childcare, all those things come into play. But I'm going to throw one more small sliver of the pie out there that's not about medical costs, but it's that we don't care what your client does with the money. And I say that in a very caring, loving way. When we cut this check, because these are lump sum benefits that your client or their beneficiary gets for this policy, we don't have a requirement. We don't have them send us bills to show, hey, you were in the hospital for a week, you need to spend that $8,000 on this or $5,000 on that. They can do anything they want with that money. And the great thing about that is, let's say somebody, God forbid, has a terminal cancer diagnosis and they've got all their other expenses covered. Maybe what they and their family choose to do with the money is go on a celebration of life trip. They want to be together one last time and celebrate the life of the person. They can do that too. And so all I'm getting at is, while this is a lump sum and all these expenses are important, Cigna does not put a requirement on what they spend their money on. And it's really for anybody. We've got coverage for all ages because with the single parent and family plans, those cover kids in the household. We've got lump sum benefits. That's really nice. I love that it's a lump sum because you can sit down with your client or talk to them on the phone and say, if this happens, Cigna cuts you a check for that, period. It's not, if you're in the hospital and your bill is $1,800, Cigna is going to pay for that bill. It's, you get the whole amount, whatever you choose and are paying for. So it's a really nice thing. And what we try and do is take that stress of how am I going to pay for this and let your client figure out or focus on the recovery from the incident instead of figuring, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay for my bills now that I've got cancer and I'm going to have to go to radiation and chemo. Well, if they've got that covered, a lot of it by an insurance policy, it makes it more straightforward on, hey, now I've got that taken care of. Let me mentally focus on my recovery, right? If you look at statistics, mental state of mind is very important in recovery from a lot of health issues. So it gives them some leeway and some, kind of a step in the right direction. So this is how the product works. You pick a base policy. It could be either or, right? It could be the cancer or the heart attack and stroke. Most people sell the cancer as the base if they're selling both, but it really doesn't matter. The cost, the underwriting questions, et cetera, are exactly the same. And then once you do that, if you want the other, you add it as a rider. It's as simple as that. Now, this is how our cancer works. So it's super easy. And I know sometimes simple in our industry has a negative connotation, but I'm telling you, when you're talking about stuff like this, simple is really nice. So our policy covers any internal cancer, so not topical skin cancer, but any internal cancer, including skin cancer that goes invasive internal, at 100% of the benefit. And that includes carcinoma in situ. So that's non-metastasized or localized cancer, which a lot of policies out there still only cover carcinoma in situ at 25%. With Cigna, on this policy, you can say any internal cancer, we're going to help you fill out the claim form, and Cigna is going to verify and then cut you a check for your full benefit. You don't have to say, yeah, for most of the stuff, you'll get this, but if it's that, you only get 25%. So it's a really nice thing. Even if you are not selling our cancer, please make sure you sell one that covers it. Carcinoma in situ at 100%. I've talked to agents who've sold ones that don't, and at the claims time, that's what their client had, and that was a very difficult conversation because the client doesn't remember, 3, 5, 6, 8, 10 years down the road, that reduction for carcinoma in situ. Now, here's how our heart attack and stroke works. It works a little different, so I'm going to take a little more time. If your client has one of the big three, the heart attack, need of heart transplant, or a stroke, they get 100% of the benefits selected. Now, that stroke has to have lingering effects for at least 30 days to qualify for the stroke benefit, which, again, as you saw earlier, there's about 92 million people right now in the U.S. with after effects from a stroke. That's very common, but just make sure you're aware of that. But we also include acceleration of benefits for procedures to help your clients hopefully avoid one of the big three. For instance, coronary artery bypass surgery, aortic surgery, heart valve repair or replacement will actually accelerate 25% of the benefit. So let's say your client has a $10,000 heart attack and stroke benefit. They don't have a heart attack. They don't have a stroke. They don't need a heart transplant, but they need to go get aortic surgery. Well, you can help them fill out the claim form if they need that assistance, and then we're going to give them 25% or $2,500 of that $10,000 benefit from that example. Now, what we do is we reserve the other 75%, or in this example, $7,500, for if they do have a heart attack, need a heart transplant, or the stroke with lingering effects for at least 30 days. We even accelerate 10% for angioplasties or stents. So really nice thing that we do on this policy. Keep in mind, we will only accelerate once in a client's lifetime. But really nice, gives them some opportunity to help afford copays and deductibles for those procedures that their cardiologist may say they need to hopefully avoid those, what I call the big three. So here's our riders. They're obviously all optional riders. I have them in different colors because, again, when we looked at the map, the dark blue, like Nebraska, has all of these in almost every situation. There might be some variations. The green states, if you sell in one of those green states, it only offers the riders on the left. So we'll start there, lump sum cancer, lump sum heart attack and stroke riders. Well, why are they riders? Like I said, if you put one as the base policy, you add the other as a rider. But then you get into what most of us think are the riders, the recurrence and restoration benefit riders, hospital indemnity rider, ICU rider, a combo rider, hospital and ICU rider, and return of premium. And then we've added, again, benefit builder for both cancer and heart attack and stroke, radiation and chemo, specified disease, critical illness, and then accident riders. So we'll go through these riders here. Let's talk about the recurrence and restoration. Don't let the difference in the names kind of confuse you. Recurrence is what we call it on cancer. Restoration is what we call it on heart attack and stroke. So if your client has the policy, like I said, these are lump sum policies. So without this rider, it's a one and done claim type of policy. But if they add recurrence and or restoration, they could actually make a second claim. So let's say they have a cancer policy with a recurrence rider. They unfortunately get diagnosed with internal cancer, so Cigna pays the claim in full. Now, as long as they're over 2 years from a diagnosis or treatment, we're going to have that benefit built up at 25%. At 5 years, it's at 75%. And if they go 10 years, that benefits all the way back up to 100%. So what's great about that? First of all, they're still paying the premiums that they did initially. So, most of our clients have to budget for a product like this. So if they wait till they get older, their premium out of pocket every month is going to be higher, right? And especially if we're talking later ages, like Todd was talking, if you're going to talk to your MA clients after AEP, which what a great opportunity to do that. Well, they're on that older age slope, which is more steep than younger clients when you look at the rate slope. Well, so that's important, right? Most of them are budgeting on a monthly basis for what they can afford for insurance, and it keeps that payment the same. But the second and more important reason is because I've had agents ask, well, why don't we just have them wait 5 more years and then reapply? Well, what happens if that reoccurrence happens in that period, in that 2 to 5 year period? You've just advised your client to go without coverage, right? And now all of a sudden, God forbid they have cancer back, because these horrible diseases, they don't wait on our timelines. They happen when they happen, and a lot of times, unfortunately, it's horrible. So my recommendation is some coverage, even 25% at 2 years, is better than no coverage at all. So here's how the hospital and ICU riders work. Basically, the hospital indemnity rider, they can choose $1,000 to $1,000 a day for a hospital confinement. Pretty straightforward. And likewise, they can for the ICU rider. Or if you like, or they think they need both riders, we actually sell the hospital and ICU benefit rider. It just basically combines those two options. So really nice option. And it does double if confined to the ICU. So, you don't have to worry that if you sell the combo rider that they're cutting their premium or their benefit in half if they're in the ICU. They are not. It does double if confined to the ICU as an inpatient, as you see at the last part of that bullet. So really nice coverage there. Now, here's how return of premium works. Have you ever sat down with a client, if you've sold products like this, and they say, hey, that's great, but what if I never? Todd may ask me, Jim, what if I never have a heart attack or stroke or ever get diagnosed with cancer? You want me to buy this product from you, but what if I don't? Then all of a sudden I've been giving Cigna this money for many, many years and my family gets nothing. Well, if that's your client, if that's truly their objection, that's a great opportunity to sell the return of premium rider, because the way it works is at death, because this is an at-death return of premium rider, Cigna will fund every penny of premium paid less claims to the beneficiary. So best case scenario, right? They never need it, and we are able to give a legacy refund of unearned premium to their beneficiary, right? It's a legacy gift to somebody they love. Worst case scenario, they do need it, but you were there to help them with a policy where Cigna can help pay a benefit to maybe, again, help them focus on how they're going to beat this horrible disease, not, oh my gosh, what's it going to do financially to my family? So it's a great, especially what we call a lot of times that engineering-minded client that's looking at all the numbers going, okay, well, this and that, but what if that? Great opportunity to sit down and handle that objection if that client ever asks you, what if I never? So this is where we get into the 4 new riders that have really set this product apart and, in my opinion, made it the most comprehensive lump sum cancer, heart attack, and stroke product on the market today. Benefit Builder, I've never seen a lump sum cancer product that has an option like this, and it's great. Your client can choose either $500 or $1,000 growth per year for up to 35 years. So it's almost like I would liken it to, as I explain, if I'm sitting down with a client, an inflation rider. Now, it's not on a percentage basis, but it does grow at either $500 or $1,000 a year. So if you look at the example on the bottom right of your screen, you sell a client a $20,000 cancer policy. They choose $1,000 growth with Benefit Builder. After 10 years, that benefit's now worth $30,000 lump sum. After 20 years, $40,000. So every year it grows $1,000. If it was $500 growth that they chose, well, that'd be $25,000 at 10 years. So it's a really nice thing. Now, one thing I want to point out is if your client wants Benefit Builder on both benefits, the cancer and the heart attack and stroke, you need to sell them separate policies, which is very easy to do in our agent view because you cannot put a rider on a rider. So if you have questions about that, let me know. But if you want Benefit Builder on just one, no problem. Even if you're selling both, super easy, just add it. But if they're buying both cancer and heart attack and stroke and want Benefit Builder on both lump sum benefits, you need to sell them separate policies. And guys, I will tell you, our e-app is set up very easily for that. It is not difficult at all to do two policies at the same time. So here's the radiation and chemo benefit. So again, Todd brought up your MA clients. What a great option, right? Because the coinsurance need for MA clients and on most policies for radiation and chemo. Well, here's how to fill that gap, or at least put a little fill in that gap, right? They can choose one of three levels, Prime, Advantage, or Supreme, and it gives them benefits for things like immunotherapy, as you see, chemotherapy, many different ways, anti-nausea drugs, radiation, or even experimental treatment for cancer, which is not covered by Medicare, but it is covered on this policy if they buy this rider. And as you see, it's got to be max is 30 days, and it must be NCI approved. But even on your base rider amount, the Prime, it's $75 a day. Advantage is $125 a day, and if they go Supreme, it's $175 a day. Now, I know this isn't going to, for most of our clients, cover the whole cost of whatever we're talking about, chemotherapy, radiation, etc. But boy, it can help fill that gap, right? Which is what we're trying to do, is help ease the financial exposure that our clients have. Now, here's specified disease and critical illness rider. I love this rider, guys. It's another lump sum rider. This is available in $5,000 to $50,000 increments for our clients 18 to 74 at time of sale. And as you see, it covers a bevy of conditions. ALS, which is most commonly referred to as Lou Gehrig's disease, coma, end-stage renal, organ transplant, MS, paralysis, in a lot of states. It does have some Alzheimer's dementia coverage, loss of sight, hearing, or speech, or severe burns, all in a lump sum. Now, I will say that Alzheimer's dementia is in most states on this, but depending on where you sell, definitely make sure it's available. There's a couple of states, I think California doesn't have it available, but in the states that do, it's available, but it is half of the benefit. And the reason why is because, unfortunately, that diagnosis is very prevalent nowadays with clients, especially as they age. And so the choice was either half of a benefit for Alzheimer's dementia or no benefit at all. Guys, I felt like we won with getting half a benefit. So let's talk about this. This rider, again, lump sum $5,000 to $50,000. Just to give you an idea of why I love this rider, it's because it's so affordable. A $5,000 benefit to 65-year-old is roughly $1.62 a month. So for less than a cup of coffee, right, they can get a rider that's going to give them $5,000 of coverage, lump sum, should they ever have any of these things happen. So great rider to add. Doesn't add a lot of premium, but boy, does it add good coverage for our clients. And then last but not least on the riders, our fixed indemnity rider. So, people are more active today than they've ever been in the past, right? Which is great because as a company, that's part of what we are doing with our mission statement. We're trying to help people be active and live a more full life. But with that, the number one cause of visits to ERs in the U.S. every year is falls. Young people fall, old people fall, clumsy people like me fall. Everybody falls at some point, and unfortunately, it lands a lot of people in the doctor's office, whether it's the ER or urgent care or what have you. So here's just some of the coverage for that. And again, 3 different levels of coverage, but things like, God forbid they get a concussion. Even on our Prime, it gives them $100 benefit for that. If they have to go to the ER, $75, and I'm talking just on their lowest coverage. Urgent care, $75. X-rays, $25. Again, so really good coverage for not a lot of money here. So I'm going to give a couple examples of Benefit Builder because, again, it's newer on a product like this. I've never seen it on a lump sum cancer product. So here you've got a 42-year-old because, again, it's available 18 to 99 in most states. This person buys a $20,000 policy with a $1,000 bill. As you see, it grows to $25,000 at 5 years, $30,000 at 10 years, etc. Now, as you see, we added the base policy, so a $20,000 cancer policy for a 42-year-old is $19 a month. Benefit Builder for that is $4.73 a month, and return of premium rider on that is $5.93. So for under $30 a month, we've given this 42-year-old a $20,000 cancer policy with a $1,000 benefit builder and a return of premium rider. And that sticks within, the scenario here is you asked, hey, what's your budget? What can you do? And maybe they said, somewhere between $30 and $40 a month. I don't always push the highest amount in a client's budget because then if they have any financial stress point, the policy is the first to cancel. One of the things we did last year when we updated this product is we were able to reduce our look-back periods. So our look-back periods for cancer and heart attack and stroke before the update was 10 years. It's now 5 years, which puts us in line with the competition. But what I was very happy about is we didn't have any negative impact on our rates or our commission to our agent. So here's what it looks like now. Have you now or ever had AIDS, HIV, or ARC? That's the only ever question. And then as you see, it's pretty straightforward. 2 years, 5 years, 5 years, 5 years, etc. So it's a really nice, clean, easy to go through. You don't have to be a medical professional to go through our underwriting on this. And so just want to take a couple minutes. I know I talked about our application before. Our e-app is, I think, the best, easiest to use in the industry. So this is an example of what Agent View looks like, which is our agent website, if you've not been there before. So you'd go there. If you see where that one is on the right side, you'd click on Express App 2.0. And then it's pretty straightforward. You start with putting in the zip code, date of birth, gender of your client, and hit Quick Quote Apply. And then, it's going to take you here. And you're going to pick the type of coverage, right? Is it a couple policy? Is it an individual policy, family or single parent? Add the coverage, and then you're going to make that statement there at the bottom next to number 3 that basically says this is health insurance, supplemental health insurance policy, and not a substitute for major medical, et cetera, et cetera. So pretty straightforward there. Now, phone verifications. I don't know any agents who love PV calls, now I've got good news for you. Unless your benefit of either of the lump sums, so either your cancer or your heart attack and stroke, as long as those benefits are not over $50,000, you don't even have to do a phone verification call with us. If they are $51,000 to $75,000, you do, and you just pick up the phone, you dial the PV number. The person on the other end is going to go through a few questions, some verifications, and give you a case number. Make sure you write that on the app or type it in the app before you're done. It helps us just verify that's been done. Pretty straightforward there. But as I said, it's not needed if you're doing our e-app and the benefit is under 51,000. Same whether it's an e-app or a paper app where they're actually signing it. The only time it would be needed on that type of coverage, 50,000 or under, is if you're on the phone with them and they're doing like either fax or you're scanning and emailing where you actually don't get a live wet signature. That's the only time you would need that. Phone sales, man, you know, it's funny with the pandemic, it seems like a lot of companies had to scramble to be phone sales friendly. Here at Cigna, we've been phone sales friendly since way before the pandemic, and it's really helped us out. We're really easy to do business with. Again, our e-app is super straightforward, as you saw in some of that example. So to do a phone sale, you call your customer, you work through the app. If the benefit is $51,000 or more, you do a phone verification. If not, you skip that, and then you submit the app. It's really that simple, guys. It is so easy. We want to be a company that's easy to do business with. So you can do that all over the phone in 2 steps for most of the cases. That 1 in 1,000 that's over 50,000 in benefit, yeah, you got to do that middle step. And then we do have some incentives. Right now, once you write 5 Sup Health apps in a month with us, you get $25 for each application. That's going to go all year. As you see, we've got a couple different ones also on Medicare as well. Again, that's just a way to thank you for doing the job you would be doing anyways, but it never hurts to get a little extra money in your pocket as a thank you from a carrier that you're partnering with. So we really appreciate as, you're selling these products. We think we've got a good one here. So, just a nice little way to incentivize. Here's the rest of our full portfolio. So most of you know we've got a Medicare supplement. Look out! This year we're going to probably roll out, more than a couple handfuls of new med sub states. Some of them will be on our new charter, Cigna National. So look out for that. We've got hospital indemnity, the 50 to 85 hospital indemnity. Also, again, for those of you so Medicare Advantage, great opportunity to add to your MA clients. We have a final expense whole life policy. And then we also have cancer treatment and accident treatment. So some great products to add to your clients or to your portfolio. And these are some numbers. Again, I think the numbers that if you ask me that you're going to want is the agent resource number. Those, again, if you have a question or an issue, feel free to call that. And I'd go ahead and jot down the PV hotline. Again, most of you aren't going to need that, but if you do, that's a number to call. Now, with that, I am done with the base of the presentation. So, Todd, do we have any questions or anything that we need to answer?
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, just feel free to type it in the Q&A section there. Jim would be happy to answer the question for you. Just also, give us a call here at Senior Insurance Marketing. Our phone number is 877-800-3080, and we'll be happy to help you out with a quote or get you contracted with Cigna if you're not contracted with Cigna, and also help you out with supplies as well too. So give us a call, and also go to our website. We just launched a new website, a little over a month ago, simkt.com, and our quoting, free quoting tools there. Plus also we're going to be adding some more videos. All of our past webinars are there. Plus also we're going to be adding some different training videos as well too, to how to sell to clients that are T65s or final expense, and how to handle objections and so forth and so on. So Jim, I don't see any questions, and I really appreciate your time. Again, if you sold sold Medicare Advantage during AEP, or just even anytime, the cancer, heart attack, and stroke from Cigna, a great product, great name, great brand name that everyone is very familiar with. So you don't really have to sell the brand, that much. You could just mention Cigna, and a lot of people will know about the commercials on TV, and have seen the name around for quite a few years as well too. So give us a call here at Senior Insurance Marketing. Again, 877-800-3080, and we'll be happy to help you out. And because we're here to help you grow your business. Thanks again, Jim. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Todd. And I want to finish with one thing. We're very fortunate to do what we do, and as somebody that does what I do, I can't always choose who I work with, but I can choose who I'm friends with. And Todd, Mike, Nikki, and the whole team over at Senior Insurance Marketing, not only are they, and have they been for a long time, one of our number one NMOs that we work with, but I'm fortunate enough to consider them personal friends. So if you aren't doing business with them now, hey, what a great opportunity to work with one of the best in the industry. And if you are, I hope that helps affirm your choice to work with them over there at Senior Insurance Marketing. They're some of the best out there. So, Todd, thank you very much. And everybody, thank you for your time this morning. And stay safe out there. And let's make 2021 a great year.
Hey, thanks, Jim. And again, thanks for the compliment. And also, we feel that we are friends with you as well too. So we got a great relationship with Senior Insurance Marketing and Cigna as well. So hey, thanks again, Jim. Really appreciate it. And again, give us a call here at Senior Insurance Marketing, 877-800-3080, and we'll be happy to help you out and get you started with Cigna. Thanks, Jim. Take care, everyone.